This is a neuroanatomy tutorial presented by the SC Child TV. We reference Atlas of Neuroanatomy and Physiology by Frank H. Netter, John Craig, and James Perkins. Hello, in this tutorial we're going to see vestibulocochlear nerve. The vestibulocochlear nerve, we're seeing that it's going to have a sensory portion. And so, since it's the vestibulocochlear nerve, it's a sensory nerve, the first point you need to note that it's going to have a sensory nucleus inside the medulla. So, at the junction between the pons and the medulla, the pontomedullary junction, the vestibulocochlear nerve comes with its spinal nuclei there. Now, since the spinal nerve has this spinal nerve has its bipolar nerve, the cell bodies are going to lie outside the central nervous system, and this is why their ganglion are going to also be outside the central nervous system. Now, the second portion to note again is that the vestibulocochlear nerve has two nerves into it. You have this vestibular nerve and you have the cochlear nerve. So the ganglions are going to be separated into two main parts. You are going to have a vestibular ganglion and you're also going to have a cochlear ganglion, and that cochlear ganglion is going to be called the spiral ganglion. So now let's visualize. So these are the different spiral ganglions here. So now let's visualize now the vestibulocochlear nerve. So this is the head of the this is going to be the inner portion of the ear. These are the origins where the sound and the balance are going to be controlled. First point to note, the cochlear portion of the vestibulocochlear nerve is going to take signals for hearing, while the vestibular portion of the vestibulocochlear nerve is going to contain signals for balance. So this is why balance can also be a sensation and one of the senses. So if you can consider man as having a sixth sense, so balance will also be one of the senses that man can have. So now let's come here. So you have the cochlear spiral ganglion. So spiral ganglion are going to take the different, are going to relay the information of hearing in we have the cochlea of the ear. So you take the different information of hearing from cochlea of the ear and then direct it via the internal acoustic meatus, then into the pontomedullary junction, and then it's going to give it to here the anterior and posterior cochlear nuclei. You have the cochlear nuclei here, anterior and posterior, and here you are going to have the relay now into the. So from this portion, as you are going to relay the impulse of sound to the cochlear nuclei, now tracks are going to relay now into the primary acoustic area. The primary acoustic area of hearing can be at the level of the Wernicke's area, at the level of the temporal lobe. So that's the point of the primary acoustic area. At that point, you are going to have the interpretation of sound. So if I say A plus 1 plus 1, so you are going to now hear 1 plus 1, interpret it, and you are going to interpret it. You are going to now send the fibers now to the higher cortical areas for now the processing of that sound. 1 plus 1 to process it into 2, and now when you process it into 2, you are going to send it now to the Broca speech area. And now in the Broca speech area, is going to send again tracks now to your to your facial nerve nuclei, and your facial nerve nuclei are now going to articulate with your vagus nerve nuclei. You're now going to articulate that it is 2. So that is what is going to happen. Now the second point is when it comes from the vestibular nerve. So this is the fascial canal where the fascial nerve is going to move out. So you are going to have the vestibular nerve. Vestibular nerve are going to take their impulses both from the semicircular canal. The semicircular canal the semicircular canal have fibers are going to have their sensors at the level of the ampulla, the lower portion of the semicircular canal. So you are going to have the sensors at the level of ampulla. There are 3 semicircular canals. You have the superior semicircular canal, you have the posterior semicircular canal, and you have the lateral semicircular canal. So these are the 3 main ones, and all of them are going to have one ampulla. So all of them are going to have one ampulla. So and all of them are going to have 2 ampulla, but the posterior and the lateral semicircular canal are going to have a point of junction, which is going to be 1 ampulla. So all of them have 5 ampulla in all. Now you have, again, at the lower portion of each ampulla, you have the sacral, and at this portion here you have the sacral and you have the utricles. So now the sacral and the utricles are there to visualize the static balance. So for the static balance of the human body, it comes from the sacrals and the utricle. But for the dynamic balance, when you are moving and you want to balance yourself, you're involuntarily balancing yourself, it is via the ampulla from the semicircular canal. So now the information are going to come here, are going to be synapse at the level of the vestibular ganglion, now continue and enter the level of the vestibular nuclei, which are still at the level of the pontomedullary junction. The vestibular nuclei are separated into these parts. We have the medial, we have the superior, we have the inferior, and we have the lateral, the lateral one. So, and they are going to be controlled and entering now into the cerebellar peduncle, inferior cerebellar peduncle, the septum. So this is what's going to happen. So from here we visualize all the different parts of the vestibulocochlear nerve, and we say thanks for your kind attention. Don't forget to like and subscribe for Science Video Makers. Thank you.